Welcome, everyone. We are back. It is the Super Millions. It's Tuesday. It's big. It's a massive $400K to first today. We are playing the biggest tournament, $10,000 on the internet. Massive event, final table Tuesday, and I got a very special guest. My man, Henry Kilbane, joins us today as the guest commentator. We've covered a lot of events. We've done some live stuff together. This is our first Super Millions together. Henry, how you feeling?
Yo, how's it going, JG? Absolutely buzzing, man. You already kind of nailed it on the head. It's one of the highlight tournaments of the week, so really excited to be here, man.
Well, it's great to have you, and I know you're familiar with a lot of these players. Some of them you would have covered for sure. Some maybe you don't know via the alias, so let's go ahead and dive into that final table. Take a look at what we're playing for and see who is seated today for this $400,000 first prize. We are going to play to a winner today, and we will have something for you guys, a ticket giveaway at a minimum 50, maybe 100. We'll give you guys some of those, and we'll do a dinner draft if you're up for it, Henry. So let's take a look at that feature and final table right now, and we'll dive right into the action. So yeah, tell me if anyone stands out, if any guys you kind of recognize, if some you're maybe not familiar with. I definitely know a few names are going to jump out at you, but who spikes your interest here?
So yeah, I'm just trying to sort out my screen, dude. Bear with me one moment. I do apologize because I saw Limitless's name in the mix. So I mean, look, he seems to be really consistent in these ads that as well. Obviously, Yuri Zivalevsky. It's tough to say with this lineup. Like it's Matson as well. You know, you can't ignore any of these guys.
It is world beaters. Let's just say it right there. I mean, look at this guy, 12 million in GGPoker earnings alone. He has got quite a resume on the Super Millions. I do want to point out on some of the records here. We see he's won 3 times. This is season 2 Super Millions. He's won 3 times already. First place in season 2, as well as 2 times in season 1. And our man Victor has been so many times at the final table. I wish we had a final table specific stat because it is like almost automatic. I look up and he is there, but we can see he also has taken down let's see, I want to say he's won 3 times. Yes, 2 in season 2, 1 in season 1, and he has a lot of cashes, 20 cashes over 53 appearances in season 2 alone. But we are going to be diving into the action here very soon. Of course, Yuri there, the very talented Brazilian, had himself a nice couple runs in Cyprus and a second place in the 50K Players Championship to Jungle Man this year at the World Series of Poker. So a man who knows his way around the final tables. But those 3 guys right there that we've talked about, Nicholas, Victor, and Yuri, kind of stand out. And then, of course, Simon Matson and Nicholas Ostedt. I think Nicholas is 21 million in GGPoker earnings and also kind of sort of royalty within GG. I know he won that very special sort of accolade for the overall player of a major series, and he is definitely someone you are not wanting to mess with. And you see his name in green there highlighted, as well as Victor, who is a part of GG there as well with the name in yellow. So yeah, 4 huge names and some other very talented players as well. And Simon has won 2 times. He has won 2 times in season 2, and again, Nicholas going for his 6th title today, which I believe would be a record. Him and Adamo, if I'm not mistaken, share 5 titles apiece. So yeah, that is pretty special stuff going on. So do you see the table? Do you have it up here? Do you see the?
I do, yeah. I'm just looking through the document that you sent me as well with like the final tables and the wins. I mean, dude, there are some serious crushes in this, JG. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, and as you see right now, the table draw, you kind of got to see as they were jockeying. It's a very cool feature, the chess clock, as well as the actual the time for how much you get to use in the tournament. You can see that there. If it were to go to 0, you'll get 5 seconds per decision. Every player right now has already used some of that. It looks like there's a lot of people hovering around 10 minutes and a little bit less. So that is, see if that comes into play. We've only seen it once or twice come into play. The blinds are 25K, 50K. We are playing for a minimum of 57,000 at this point. As you can see in the lower right, the payouts, 9th place, and first, a massive $400,000 going to first. So this is definitely a big one, and we are going to just kind of hop right into the action here. And anyone else, Henry, do you recognize anyone else by their usernames or familiar with anyone?
No, I must say I've looked around, scanned. Yeah, I mean, the only guys that I recognize are the ones that you kind of already mentioned. But yeah, big money up for grabs. I mean, 40 buy-ins in a 10K, man. That's pretty huge.
Yeah, it's definitely it is big, and this is a big one. This is a little bit bigger than it's been lately, and definitely good to see this Super Millions growing. And we are going to kick right into it as we see our man on the button going to be betting. A tough spot here for Simon. He's out of position, but he does have middle pair. We know how hard it is to make a pair. Certainly can't be folding now. He does stick on, and this is going to be interesting because we see this player turn equity, right? He has now got double gutter, an 8 or a queen. A king would be good as well to improve. And Simon may have to face some music here. These are two stacks that are, fairly close, and a huge pot here. I'm very curious what we see. I would like to think this is going to be a big bet, but we just you never know. People play differently in these spots. That's why it's so fun. And let's see what he comes up with. He's in the tank. He does go for a big bet.
Yeah, solid read, JG. You're right. I mean, King 9 kind of, feels like equity you want to try and push on the turn here, right? Try and target some of those pair of fives that are just going to be forced to kind of fold. Potentially some ace highs as well. And he does have equity, barreling with outs. Any king, queen, or 8. Yeah, and he gets the 10 to fold, man.
Yeah, what are things you want to pay at the sizing? Always so important on sizing, and I think that price was just a little bit too much for Simon to think, hey, if I'm good still, I'm going to call. Would have to face probably a big barrel in the river, and I could even be, drawing dead on that particular texture and situation. Obviously, the player's range a little wider on the button. He could already have a made hand, and can't fault Simon for getting out of the way. Probably in a vacuum, the right fold, although he did have the best hand as it stood. All right, we got to do a draft, Henry. Are you up for a dinner? We could do a nice dinner for a bet, a wager. Are you good with that?
Yeah. How does it work, man?
All right, so red or black, you choose, and then we will see a flop, whatever that is. The person will get to choose first, and then it's a snake draft. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 1 at the end, and I will be awarding a $50 ticket for GGPoker to someone in the chat. If you guys hit the thumbs up, you will be eligible, as well as the keyword later in the show. We'll release that, and then if it is one of the players that we give as a bonus that win, that you guys can sweat along with, it'll be $100. So it's either gonna be 50 or 100, and we will we will be going into that very shortly. So why don't you choose red or black to start, Henry?
Let's go for black.
All right, you got black. I got red, and we are going to be giving you guys that. If you guys any favorites at home, please let us know. I'm gonna give you guys Yuri as a bonus already. I love you. Yuri's a great guy, also Brazilian. I rep my Brazilians. My son's half Brazilian, my wife's Brazilian. I just have a love for Brazil, and we're gonna give you guys that as a bonus, and we'll throw a couple in. Actually, we can who do you want to give them? Why don't you pick someone and I'll give them someone for the bonus. We'll pick 3 total. We'll give Brazil as a default, and then we each can pick a player to give as a bonus for the audience to sweat.
Sure. I mean, I'm gonna have to go for Simon, right? He just won the main event on GG couple of weeks back, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah.
All right, that's he's got confidence. He's crushing, feeling good. That is a nice, generous pick, and I'm gonna give them my man D Michaelitis, who is, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize, but he's got 5.4 million. He has got a massive chip stack, so we are gonna go ahead and give you guys those 3. If one of those win, it'll be $100. If anyone else wins, it'll be 50, and we'll keep that rolling. Let us know where you're watching from, and I hope you guys are enjoying here. Myself, Jeff Gross, along with my man Henry Kilbane. We are calling some big action today. So this is an exciting one, nine-handed, and we are seeing Yuri already in the tank here. He's going to go ahead and defer to Simon. See if Simon wants to take a stab here. Deuce 2-7, very, very, one of those boards where I think he can definitely take control of the hand. He can put some pressure on some middle pairs. He also could just have the best hand and decide to check back. He does just that, and now the chip leader with ace 5 picks up a gut shot, 450 in the middle. Interesting. Definitely has a license to start taking control here. I think we will see a bet.
Yeah, 100%. Not only does he have a gut shot, but he also has the ace of clubs as well. So a future nut flush blocker, should a club roll off, could potentially apply some pressure if he feels like it's the right run out for his hand. And this could work, JG. This could definitely work. He's defended the big. It's going to have more 7x, more deuce x than Yuri and Simon. See if Simon tries to keep him honest for at least one with the ace jack. ICM implications, just decides to fold.
Yeah. I mean, this is the power of the big stack here as we get to see there is it is already working. I mean, he's up to 5.8 million and he is going to be actually, I missed the flop. It was no, it was red two. It was a diamond heart club. So I get the
You're
first pick
right.
as we
Yeah.
we see a all in right away. Wow. Ace 6 to ace 8. There are some chop availability here on the 7499 river 3 though. It looks like ace 8. Victor, the very popular high stakes cash game player, also has a unbelievable record in terms of final tables here, is now in the mix. And that's a huge swing for this, Henry. We would have seen 6.4, 6.5 million for the chip leader, a player eliminated. Everyone gets a nice 15K pay jump. Instead, this is very tight now with all the stacks, and the chip leader's still fine. 2 big stacks, and everyone else is really, pretty tight. So this is an interesting shakeout for the final table. And if you're a Victor fan, good to see him still in. And we are gonna go ahead and pick I guess I get the first pick, right? I'm gonna take the chips with Michaelitis with 5.2 million. It's just too spicy to not take, and you go ahead and get
Yes. That's a smart bet, man. That's a very smart bet. You got to, you have to. Okay. Let me have a quick think. You know what? I was so impressed with Yuri. Some of the events that covered, as you mentioned, he's just one of the best to come out of Brazil. I'm going to take Yuri, man. I know he's not got many chips, but I think he's definitely able to turn this around.
Wow. Okay, and you get 2. So you get 2 picks actually.
Okay, all right. Let's go Yuri and Simon Matson.
Wow, you're really skipping over a few of these stacks. I mean, it's an interesting. Luckily, Nicholas is a little shorter. I'm gonna just go chips, man. I'm just playing math. I'm gonna go Joseph and get him minus as well. So I got the 3 biggest stacks, and you've got yourself another 2 picks here.
Okay. In which case, I'll go with Malinowski and Cole Matarde.
Okay, beautiful, very nice choice. I will very happily take Nicholas as well. So I'll get to choose Nicholas, and I believe is that 4 for me. I got 3, 4, and then you get 1 more, and then we'll just have one that is not picked. I think is how we'll do it. So it's fair, 4 and 4.
Oh, I've got 4 as well, dude.
Oh, you already have 4 now. Okay, so now I have 4.
Yeah.
So I guess, and you know what? I'm gonna give the audience my man there, ST at Etler as well. So they'll have 4 for a bonus $50. So they got the chip leader, Michaelitis. They got Simon, the current reigning WSOP online main event champion. They got Yuri the Brazilian and Spot. So they got 4 and 9 for a bonus, including the chip leader. I think it's fair. And we got ourselves a dinner bet, and we have got ourselves a flop coming up here. Looks like 3-way. I mean, look at Simon, ace 9 suited. It's so pretty, but you kind of realize you're going to be dominated here most of the time. This can't fold though. He does take a flop, and king queen suited going to jump into the lead, gets a nice flop on the king 8-3 club diamonds. Chip leader has an interesting decision here. Does he want to put pressure on? Does he want to keep control of the hand? Definitely could. He does start with that. So that is let's see what he does. Might shell it off here. This is a starting spot. If you have king queen suited, you're feeling pretty good. See what he can do.
Backdoor diamonds, top pair, decent kicker. I just realized, JJ, I may have shot myself in the foot with this bet a little bit. I've got one side of the table. They're all going to be playing, button v big blind, small blind v big blind spots. So I might be in a bit of trouble, but hey, I don't mind buying you dinner.
Listen, it is. I will say it was a nice, what do you call? I love it. I mean, look, Yuri, I got a lot of respect for, but you definitely left me with the big stacks. Kind of just being able to take a block of big chips here. Let's see how it goes though. I've seen it. It can go in a bunch of different ways. So let's take a look, and we are going to be all of a sudden. Wow, he gives the free card, and the ace just comes. Oh my goodness.
The 2 outer.
Wow.
Okay.
Well.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that was.
This is tough as well. This is going to be tough for Cole because this is like such a mandatory bluff card, right? Given the range of hands, positions, the old bet check bet line, it just feels he does go for pot as well. And Cole's in a world of pain here, unblocking clubs.
Yeah, this
really
is
tough spot. Would not fall him for calling.
Yeah, that's
It's deep in the tank. You can't blame him.
Yeah, I mean,
Flop top pair.
the no bet on the turn, I'm a little surprised, but it's fine, right? It also makes sense. I mean, it's like you could go either way. It's just so crazy when you actually get punished, for that. Like if that, I don't know if there's many bluff cards there that he's gonna fire on the river either, right? Like I don't know what card he would actually pick to just go crazy with in that spot and that how the action played when he checks the turn. So interesting hand, and unfortunate for our friend Cole. How would you pronounce that? Mutarde? Colino? Cole? I don't really know how to. The Canadian. We'll call him.
Okay, yeah. We'll call him Cole the Canadian.
Cole the Canadian. Yeah, that's that's a tough hand there. That is a very tough hand. If you're watching at home, we are asking. Wow, we see some people in chat asking about the I haven't caught up with this whole Jack 3 scandal for like the last 4 days. I was kind of on top of it. It got a little crazy. I heard some new developments. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. Henry, do you have any kind of just like a summary on where it's at in the last few days? Has there been any big new developments?
I'm the same as you, bro. I caught wind of it at the start. I had like an opinion based off my own hunch, but I didn't really, I didn't know enough to give like an actual, opinion. For me, I want to know, I want to see the evidence. I don't just want to, these are people's careers at risk. And then to be honest with you, mate, I've actually just been chilling out, social media detox for the past week or so. Just been grinding a bit, studying a bit. So I'm actually really behind with it myself. I don't really know what the latest developments are.
Yeah, me neither. I really do not have much context on it. I just it just seems a bit of a mess. But listen, they say no press is bad press. Been a lot of press for poker, and although it's not like the most shiny light, I think it does show how popular and mainstream poker is right now. There's so much going on, and the main thing too, maybe a reminder to people to be careful at home and home games or anywhere, to be alert, use common sense, and be smart and understand what you're doing, because you always have to, you got to take responsibility, right? People aren't always, you're trusting people that you're playing in, what games you're in, if it's online, if it's live, whatever it is, you gotta use common sense and be smart. And I'll tell you what, Victor is getting himself a nice spot right at the moment. And I mean, look, ace queen to ace king. This is one where Nicholas, as the risk premium the lowest, he is the shortest stack, and you have ace queen off. It's asking a lot to get away from this. It is 9-handed, and I think these guys have a lot of experience with each other, but it seems unlikely to find a path out. Look at that click though, Henry.
Yeah.
Look at that price.
Yeah, some street poker being played here, JG. Under the gun V +1. I mean, I couldn't agree more in terms of risk premium. He is the shortest stack, but this is 16 bigs. You 3-bet from +1 V under the gun. This click back from Malinowski, someone who obviously very capable of turning a hand like ace-4, ace-5 into a bluff, but this definitely one that Nicholas can get away from, but wouldn't fault him for putting it in here, especially against such a competent, well-accomplished player as Malinowski. See what he comes with. Again, another tough spot straight off the bat. We're only like 5 hands in, and we've had a couple of grim spots for both Nicholas and Cole the Canadian. Gets away from it, man. Well done.
Wow. I mean, that's like, I guess it's just a bit of, look, you can understand it, but for that price, so enticing, so intense, like you really have to be right there, right? You can't have jacks, or it's just pretty wild. Unbelievable getaway. I mean, obviously he could have seen a flop for a price, but it was dominated, and he made a good fold, and he's still in, and still with some chips. I mean, you see still 12 blinds, right? It's almost 12 blinds, 50,000 big blind, and still in the game. So a nice getaway there, and get a little bit of a look inside of the class of Nicholas Ostedt and what he is able to do and how he maneuvers and finds himself deep in some of the biggest tournaments in the world. Pretty sick.
Yeah, and talking of tough spots, straight away, man. I mean, this is why these guys are some of the best in the world. Building pots consistently, making themselves really tough to play against. A lot of people would potentially look down at King 10 suited on the button and just be like, okay, cool, I'm going to flat. Let's see a flop. See if I can flop something. But Joseph just really leveraging that ICM pressure on Zivalevsky right now with the 2 9s. It's a relatively small 3-bet.
Yeah, these guys are getting back into some old school clicking, right? Some really affordable pricing, taking control of the hand, and Yuri going to get out of the way with the nines. I mean, Henry, if at this, there's some careful play. I will say the last final table we did, it was so crazy that the actual play was so out of hand, out of line, wild, and this has been like very snug, solid, kind of great folds, or I guess conservative maneuvering thus far in the tournament. So very, very different than the last week that was on. But yeah, this is I gotta say, this is it's fun to watch. I always feel like it is so fun to see how players play. And actually at the final table, it was just crazy. It was really crazy how they at the main event, right? The actual main event where Simon won, there was some really crazy plays as well.
Yeah, you were doing it with Jeremy, right? Jeremy Osmus, and I know Osmus was just like, hang on a minute, what's going on? There's some like crazy plays happening here. So yeah, he was as shocked as you were, and I'm sure the fans at home really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, looks
Just
like
noting the chip leader. Go on, sorry.
no, I say I have a camera issue. Kind of not sure what, but let me see here. As we see, 5-6, yeah, 5-6 off against fives. Although he has, a decent chance to win this hand.
Does indeed. Does indeed. Has the chip lead, can just, fire out a small bet as he does and just really start putting the Romanian with the fives in a tough spot straight off the bat. Can't fault the chip leader for being aggressive. That's for sure. And I don't know if I'm liking my side of the bet right now. I didn't really think about the chips, to be honest with you. I was just scanning around and picking people that I know. Now I'm starting to remember just how easy it is to leverage that ICM on the shorter stacks, on the middling stacks as one of the chip leaders.
All right. Well, you can hear me, right? I don't know what happened. This is
I can, mate. I can see the top of your camera as well. I can still see the background. It just kind of shifted down slightly. Oh, sorry, yeah, shifted down.
This is strange because I don't know.
If you need to reboot, I'm happy to hold down the fort for 5 minutes, mate. Whatever you need to do, I'm sure I can.
All right, let me actually, yeah, I'm gonna close it and come back because that's it's just bizarre. So I will do that and see if I can come back. So give me a few minutes here.
All right, sweet, no worries.
All right,
Chat, I'll do my best.
All right, good luck, man. Enjoy.
Eric,
this is a special one.
Yeah. Thank you. Note the open chat from Michaelatis, the 10-5 suited, just in position on second in chips, Joseph, and he just realizes, the reason why he can get away with this is once Nicholas has folded, the ICM pressure on everyone else is just insane, right? Cole kind of comfortably middle of the pack. Simon, even with 20 bigs, covers 3 players. So busting out in ninth, difference between ninth and sixth, better part of $60,000. Chris saying Camera's overheated, or has Henry taken over the world? I sent the gremlins to JG's house. Simon keeping the 5-10 suited honest for one street. Overcard to the board, rolling off on the turn, and tough one for Simon. It is a Broadway card. Doesn't have a heart in hand. Ace of diamonds on the river, however, may actually earn Simon some chips here if he slides it on over to the chip leader. See what he comes with. May come with a block as well. There are some hands that he'd want to block with, parts of his range that he'd want to block with. He's also very aware that this is supposedly a scary river card for him. If he has, an 8, be tough for him to call down here. But he does make the call. All right, chat. All right. Gremlins in the wires over at JG's house. Chat, I was actually staying at Jeff's, but I promise I didn't compromise any of his tech to make this happen. You know.
I'm,
There he is.
I am back. Or yeah, exactly. That's a lot of trust, man. These days, you got to trust people. If, you got equipment around and whatnot. So yeah, if you didn't, I don't know what just happened, but I think it's all good. It's working. Hopefully, no problems ahead. Did I miss anything? Did anyone? We're still 9-handed.
We're still 9-handed. Yeah, Simon. I mean, just forced to defend with the ace jack suited against the chip leader, who opened a 10-5 suited from early position, just leveraging the ICM. And yeah, picked up a nice one up to a bit of breathing room, 30 bigs. People in the chat saying I'm a bad player. You're not wrong. I am a bad player. That's why I'm in the commentary booth and not at the table. You guys should be smart enough to put 2 and 2 together. You know what they say, those that can't teach in the poker world. At least my theory for me is those that can't play commentate. And again, I'm talking for myself. Okay.
Well, it's safer behind. It's safer when you see the whole cards up and you're in the safe place. And I think one of the things you understand is too, when you watch some of these guys, like the folds, the calls, like there's some high level stuff going on here at all times. We definitely have a treat to get to see this. And I think it is one of those ways that you can really get better at poker, is watch these, especially obviously this particular one is whole cards up final table. And obviously it's hard to get to the final table, but it is important to understand ICM. It's important to understand different plays, different stack sizes, and how they can maneuver in a situation. And you get to see the world's best doing that. And even myself or you, who sees a lot of final tables, I think it's always interesting, right? You learn something new almost every time. At least I can say I do. Every table, I'm like, wow, like that was cool, or man, that play really I need to check that out or talk to someone more about why they did that. And this is a big shove here. This is quite a play.
Yeah, no. I mean, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, there's so much to digest from these streams. You really can, like, if you're interested in learning, one of the best things to do is to rewatch these, especially from an ICM point of view. You have some of the best players in the world who are the most ICM technically sound, and you can learn a lot. You can definitely learn a lot.
Yeah, it's special, and that was a special shove there. I believe if I'm not mistaken, Gedimias, who sounds familiar from some other sites, although his resume on the actual Super Millions hasn't played a ton, but that name sounds really familiar. I'm not sure if that's from online, some of these other sites. Do you recognize that name, Henry?
Yeah, I do actually. Now that I said, let me get the old Hendon mob out. Let's have a quick look. Got the Super Millions results spreadsheet here as well, because it is a name that I recognize. I feel like predominantly online player, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that is correct. I think I'm almost sure. It's gonna sound. I know when it comes up, it's gonna sound silly because it's gonna be like obvious. And it's a really, really good player from what I remember. I'm just having a hard time putting it together. And here Yuri flops top 2 on a king queen 3. There is 2 clubs, very draw heavy board. Obviously straight draw jack 10, an ace jack, even for a gut shot, those clubs. But 6-5 suited of hearts going to completely miss. And Yuri goes ahead and does pick up an important pot, putting back over 1 million chips. And everyone is in pretty good position other than the 2 players here that are next to Ack. You can see Nicholas with the king jack off of exactly 10 bigs, just decides to fold. Maybe Handy could decide to min raise and play off of that stack, but a lot of players left, and you're raising the big blind, the big stack. He just decides to pass, and he would have been met by Simon's 9s anyway. So this is a spot now where Simon is going to go ahead and raise up a little more than a min raise, and doesn't have much to worry about there, as he does get a fold from the chip leader with the jack 3 off, popular hand in popular culture right now. Jack 3, jack 4. There's a debate on that. What do you think about do you believe that she thought she had jack 3? At least, Henry, like, do you have any thoughts on the whole thing? I don't want to go down the rabbit hole here.
No, I don't. I don't believe that. No.
Yeah.
I understand. A lot of people that maybe don't play as often, and I think it's a mistake that a lot of pros have made as well. I've certainly played hands where I've checked my hand pre-flop, and then post-flop I've thought I've had a certain holding. For example, I thought I've had like a certain nut flush draw in PLO, and then got to the river, the flush rolls off. I'm confident that I've got the nut flush, without re-looking at my cards. But no, I don't believe that.
Yeah, it's hard. The whole thing's a bit hard to follow, but we're focused here today. The more important thing is 400,000 at first, 57,000 for the 9th place contestant, and this is gonna get the fold. Nicholas, good timing there. Ace deuce off, gonna get a shove over the chip leader, recognizing first of all just the positions that ace deuce likely the best hand, but also the chip leader is going to be opening so wide there. And we're seeing this chip leader go ahead and exercise some aggression. I mean, really does have a massive stack compared to the field, and he has a great seat as well with the 2nd place stack on his direct right. So a very controlling position, and we do see the 8-3 suited go for it here, and we're gonna see this could be one of those spots where we really do see the chip leaders separate themselves from everyone just based on the positions and who's behind them. And sometimes where he can actually just open shove in different situations if it folds to him and there's no one left to act with his exact stack and some hand selection. So this could be, we haven't really seen on the Super Millions, I haven't really seen that where someone's got such a big lead so early with 8 or 9 left, and we might get to witness that today. The question in the chat from GG about the buy-in. This is a $10,000 tournament on Sundays where we then play the final table out Tuesdays 2:45 Eastern. I am your host Jeff Gross, along with a guest every week, Henry Kilbane, joins us today. Also is called some of the biggest, brightest action in the world. Just was in Cyprus, and we were in Madrid together for Triton. And what other stuff you have coming up, Henry? What else is on your schedule in the near future?
Yes, good question. I'm actually going to be going to Kings for the WSOP Europe, so I'm going to be covering that, which I'm looking forward to. You get some of the best Americans in the world fly out. Obviously, have all of the great European players go to that one as well because it's so close to home. So definitely looking forward to that. Bracelets up for grabs. Legacy, the thing that a lot of people get into poker for, the glory of winning bracelets. We've already seen that on GG this summer as well. Some of the best online players getting a shot at winning bracelets, from the comfort of their own home. So super excited for that. But I tell you what, I am excited for is what you mentioned, is the fact that our chip leader here is really getting close to that threshold that you mentioned. He's got 2nd in chips on his right. He has 2 of the shortest stacks on his left. So once they fold, he can really just lean into those middling stacks, and we could definitely have this over and done with in the space of a couple of hours. Just runaway chip leader.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where when you come to the final table, there's so many tough players here, but when you have that kind of a stack, you really do have a massive advantage. And I think this is it's always interesting to see how they're able to exercise that and how they play. If it's just complete aggression, some timed aggression, first in. I've seen some at the final table. I saw chip leaders making like huge folds even for a few big blind. It's really like to call a short stack all in. So really interesting here. And Simon actually could put in a tough spot here because 8s, again, this is one of those ones for this stack depth with shorter stacks around and 8s where the late position raise, you could definitely see him inflict a big raise here. So I'm very curious if he will just call. Maybe if there's anyone this guy's going to respect, it's got to be the reigning champ, right? The World Series of Poker main event champion online. He does just go with the call and now does get put in a pretty difficult situation where there's 2 overs. As we see it, Simon Metzen does have a gut shot in 2 overs, but also tricky for him, right? To just be betting into the chip leader, knows that he could be up to no good. So this is so far the most interesting hand, I think, of the day. I'd be curious how this gets played here.
Yeah, up against the chip leader. I feel like Simon finds a way to win this, even if Michaelatis just does pill one here with the 8s. I mean, it's obviously a lot easier now. Simon's turned top pair. But yeah, definitely a board texture that Simon can really kind of blast off. I mean, it is cutoff versus big blind, so ranges are supposedly a bit wider, but note the stacks that Simon's opening into, everyone that he's opening into hasn't covered. So you would expect Simon to proceed with more caution than usual per se. And yeah, I saw someone in the chat pointing out, I believe it was Sandy Sanchez saying he's a WPT champ. Took down the 3.2K on your home turf, JG, in Florida for around 800K. So that's Jetta Minus taking that down.
That is okay. That makes a lot of sense. And I'll tell you what doesn't make sense is my camera today, Henry, because I got another issue here, and I am gonna, I guess, cut and go off again. Luckily, I know if anyone can handle it, it's you. You know how to do it, and you know how to run the deal here. But I am just a bit concerned. I'm a bit concerned. And I don't really know what's happening. So let me cut off again. Let me try to get back. And let me see if I can play with some settings. See if there's like
all right, dude.
Something. I'm gonna dip back out. Sorry about that, guys. I will be back. Henry will be here, and I'll try again.
All right, so Nicholas just opened jamming the just sub 12 bigs. Sub 12 bigs with the ace queen O. Chip leader gonna go for the ISO. They're gonna show each other ace queen and just be like, hey. You want to chop it now? Well, 3 clubs on board. Nicholas with the free roll. Can he river the 4th club? The sweat. The sweat is real. It needs to be the deuce of clubs. Oh my God. Oh, is that commentary curse? That is the commentator's curse right there. Deuce of clubs on the river. That's bad for my bet. That's bad for my bet, you know. Was 1 card away from Nicholas just remaining one of the short stacks. But I guess on the flip side, it is two of Jeff's picks trading chips. So I guess it's not too bad for me. Brutal river card. Did have the free roll on the flop, but when you get the old 2-pip from the side, you know, there's only 1 card it can be. 25% chance that it was the deuce of clubs, and he just drills it. It's a big pot.
I missed it. What happened? So I just got back in. The short stack doubled. That was Nicholas.
Yeah, so Nicholas open jammed just sub 12 with the ace queen O. Chip leader woke up with ace queen as well. And yeah, Nicholas with the 4 flush.
Wow.
The hands that we hate to play the most, Jeff. 1 winning and 1 losing.
Man. All right. Well, this is very intense. This has been a breakout where we are, you know, we're a fair amount of the way into the show, and we have not seen a knockout, and we've seen sort of stacks consolidate, and the chip leader also down into now 2nd place, a little bit tighter there, as El Joseph 62 is on the 2nd stack becomes the 1st. So a big swing for the field, and we see Simon Matson pick up some kings here, and Victor with ace-9 suit on the button could be engaged, although a relatively early position raise. These are always interesting to see how these are played. I mean, this is kind of one of those spots where I feel like ace-9 suit is too big not to play, but you know, 3-betting doesn't necessarily, it feels a little too good at 3-bet. Vlading, I would guess, would be the right play, but folding also certainly an option. We do see him go with the fold. Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, no, solid laydown. I mean, again, you just have to kind of note the stacks that Simon's opening up into, you know. 3 people on his direct left all having covered. So I think this is a strong range. And yeah, disciplined laydown from Victor for sure. But always tough, man. I mean, Jeff, you know me, you know, regardless of the amount of bigs that I've got, I look down at ace-9 suited. I want to see 3. I want to see a flop, especially on the button.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of that confidence. We've talked about this, you know, some of the runs in the history of poker. Fedor Holtz, we see Dan Coleman, Justin Bonham, these sort of surreal runs. Guys like Simon, they just demand respect. This is the guy everyone knows, whether you're one of the best or you play with them regularly or you don't. And, you know, also that if it's close, right? Maybe a guy, it's an unknown name or a spot where you're like, you know what, let me see what's going on. But you just kind of know Simon's not going to give it away. He's going to play well, and he knows what's going on. He kind of, it feels like he knows what you have. And I think there's some mutual respect there from Victor. Not saying that he wouldn't fold to a similar stack in a similar spot, but there is some of that, right? There always is a bit of a lenience and exploitative sort of playing where you feel you might have an advantage or in a spot. And I think that most people would agree you're not going to be finding a big advantage over Simon on many situations. So that could be part of
Yeah,
it, right?
for
It's
sure.
could be part of it, although pretty interesting spot that now we see a pretty big hands here. That key card ace of hearts there on the jack queen nine. King queen does have the best hand, but a bit of a dicey board here. So let's see what Nicholas comes up with. 600K in the middle. He's got about SPR, stack to pot ratio 2-1. And he's got to feel good. He's got to feel pretty confident, although a little bit scary. And he does go ahead and bet here, which is interesting. Leaves this player rope to take the aggressive line. Now, if you do get raised here, is he saying my hand's good enough and I'm just not folding, or is this more of a information here? I'm a little surprised by this bet, honestly, against the stack size in this situation. There's hands that beat you, and there's definitely hands that could semi bluff you.
Yeah, Nicholas also note the bet size, as you already mentioned, Jeff, like setting up a very natural river SPR of around 1, kind of insinuating that, hey, like, look, I'm setting up a river jam here. Does get clicked back, and well, I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. You sat here with king queen, goes check, bet, call. Your opponent checks turn out position and comes with the check raise on the queen jack 9 3 hearts board. Alarm bell's got to be ringing.
Yeah, this is interesting though. I feel like if you, I don't, I mean, man, I just feel like betting. I don't think he's folding, but at the same time, I'm just a little shocked he wouldn't check back if you were planning on continuing here. I mean, I guess you get information, you do charge the draw. I just don't know if he's gonna fold. But the same token, you basically realize he's repping the ace of hearts, or it's kind of like, would he do this with ace queen off, right? Probably not. So like you're kind of getting, you really are. I don't think he's personally betting that to fold. But let's see.
Yeah, it's interesting, well, because obviously Joseph is now the chip leader. So it's like, okay, well, how many offsuit combos of ace X does he have with the ace of hearts? We can obviously see here that he has ace 7 off. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that he has all of them. And wow. Okay. We got some big boy poker being played today, chat. Strong from Joseph. The click just getting it done.
Wow. I'm that hand is super interesting to me. Is maybe part of it though, he doesn't think he's gonna get bluffed. Is it maybe that he doesn't get bluffed and that I'm just wondering. I'm just like, maybe because he doesn't want a bigger bet on the river, and he also doesn't want to give a free card. I'm just a little curious why you would bet there, not check, and then decide on the river on the run out. So that hand's interesting to me. Maybe I'm just, again, Nicholas, you gotta say he's probably the best player in the world, or top 1%, top one of the top players in the world. So I'm sure he knows exactly why and what he's doing there. I just personally I'm a little surprised to bet fold there. Wow, look at that.
What is going on, dude?
We got a lot of hands of the day coming in here.
What is going on? Wow. Yuri 3-betting the king 10-0, which I love, by the way. Just great card removal, blocking a lot of like some of the strongest parts of Nicholas's like top of range. And he just dials in the 10-5 suited, man. Are we playing for 400K today? Like,
wow.
I
mean, that was
sick.
That was very. That was sick. This guy likes being the chip leader. He's trying to find his way back there. He has got 4.976 million, and the chip leader has 5.5 million. So this is legitimately the two guys have double third place, little more than that, right? Healthily in first and second over there. Everyone else kind of in the middle, and then there's the two guys with around 2 million chips. So this is wide open. No one wants to give an inch here. Simon with 2 10s on the button versus the cutoff open. So certainly going to be met with some resistance here. Yuri been active. Let's see if Simon decides, I think, good enough to 3-bet with covering 2 million to about 1 million pens versus ace jack off. So see what he does, if he's going to 3-bet, decide to go with it, or just flat. I would imagine 3-bet, right? It's a pretty strong hand in this situation.
Yeah, I'd lean more towards 3-bet. And it's interesting, like 3-bet stack off against Yuri, and then he's gone for a sizing which allows him to kind of get away from the players behind should it go, 4-bet and Yuri stacks off as well. So I like this. See what Yuri comes with. I mean, he does still have a ton of fold equity, which sounds crazy because he's only playing 17 bigs, but and he does, he just runs it. And I think we're gonna have our first collision of the day. Someone's gonna bust.
Wow. Well, someone could bust their double. This is a big one. This is ace jack now. Pretty big underdog going to the river. Is going to need an ace or a jack on the river versus the 2 10s. It's paint. Is it really? Oh man, that looked like it. It looked like it was right, but it was just not. And Simon says good game. Everyone excited about that exit. You can see Yuri 10 million on GGPoker in earnings alone, and check his live resume out and follow him on socials. He's a really nice guy, really talented player, and just one of those guys you root for. So Yuri, nice ninth. I know you wanted more, but quite a good showing again for him, and adds to his very impressive poker resume. Another final table, another 57,000 coming to the Brazilian.
Yeah, GG's Yuri, one of the best in the world at present. Very tough to play against, both live and online. He's going to look back at that previous hand where chip leader just piled to 10-5. It's like, hang on a minute, I should have won that hand. What's going on?
Yeah, this is, man, it's crazy. The final table, the equities and the swings. I mean, obviously the great players, the ones that are here so often and put themselves in positions. But if you don't play a lot of tournaments too, a couple of these spots, a flip, a 2-outer, a 3-outer can just be so huge for you for a year, for your results. And this is a big one. 400,000, definitely one of the bigger super millions. We see usually a $250,000 or so. So this has got a lot of entries, and this is definitely very healthy. And we see now the chip leader get checked to for. He got checked back on the flop. We saw a turn, and there is a gut shot now. King 9 off, kind of a weird one, right? When you're getting checked to, it kind of makes you think maybe you don't have the best hand. A hand with some equity, maybe he would be stabbing here. So a bit of an uncomfortable spot. Ultimately checks back, and look at this. He hits the nut straight, spades available, although going to be definitely confident as the hand played that his hand is best. Let's see what he does, and likely just going to go bet in a fold. Don't really see any way else this plays out. Simon with 3 million over there, Henry, looking dangerous all of a sudden. 3 million is that's a nice amount of chips.
I'll take it. I know, obviously, you got the one up as it stands. You're with the departure of Yuri, but Simon with chips, as you mentioned, just sub 50 bigs. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Simon. I mean, this is pretty insane. You're at 8 left now, and you've got the Romanian on sub 8, or just hovering around the 8 big blind. Nicholas in the big now. He's hovering around 13. I would say this level, the next couple of levels, likely get down to 6-handed, 7-handed. And, well, Simon dangerous with 3 million. He's definitely dangerous when he's got the aces as well.
Yeah. Only good news for the field is looks like no one has anything to really play here. Nicholas, obviously, so much respect, and not a stack you really want to be peeling with his situation and against that player, and that is going to go his way. So 3.3 million for Simon. He is off and running, and sort of getting a little bit too much momentum for everyone's liking at the table. As you can see, the 2 bigger stacks, 2 to his left and 3 to his left. So he's got his work cut out for him. But the man, that name's hard to pronounce. ST at is down short now. He is very short. Nicholas also fairly short. And this is what I was talking about. This is the seat we're seeing where the chip stacks, he gets to kind of jam. Even one more position, right, into the 4 behind him. He can really put pressure on these guys. And a hand like that, right, you're just going to get to see him pick up. People don't really want to call off a hand like, even 4s there, right? What would Nicholas do with 4s when he's in the small blind? Like, you don't really want to be calling off in this spot. I mean, there's 8 left. And if you look at those 4 stacks, there's not much separating them. One double, one sort of a couple pots here or there. So, but look at the difference between 4th and 8th. There's a lot of money in the middle there. ICM is at its actual most intense spot at the moment. So this is going to be curious. And look at Joseph, man. L Joseph 62, Jack 9 off says, hey, I'm the chip leader. I'm going to go for it. And he's got a customer, King Queen versus the Jack 9, and a little bit of something here. Definitely could see some chips going here.
Yeah, spicy flop. The old Queen 10-10 open ender for the chip leader. See how Cole proceeds here against the one big blind C bet. I mean, with ICM, do we want to just kind of deny straight off the bat, or are we happy to just put on the cape and buckle up and strap ourselves in for a potential multi-barrel from the chip leader? He does come with the check raise. I can't say I fault him here.
Yeah. And
it's interesting because Joseph might now feel like, okay, well, how many value hands does Cole actually have here? And how many check raise bluffs does he have in the form of draws that will have to fold if I jam? Oh, no.
Wow. I mean, come on. Come on.
No way. Cole just turns top 2. SPR less than 1, going to the river. Gonna need a king, queen, or a 10 to get out of dodge. Brutal stuff. Brutal turn card. It's the non-club king as well.
Yeah, this is
alarm bells.
This is concerning though. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit. You have the king queen, but it's dicey, man. This is dicey for sure. You kind of realize the reality. You lose to the 10 already. You got called now, so it's either does your opponent have some kind of draw, which, yeah, the Jack 9, also like King Jack, right? If he has the Jack 9, could he have King Jack? Sure, he could have clubs, and I don't see a path away. And look at this, checks it back. Wow, this is high tech right here. This is high tech, but ultimately,
ace king, ace queen hands that we beat as well.
Yeah. Yeah. The question will be, do you go, what kind of sizing do you go here? This is interesting. Both players are so high up in their range, but they also realize they're losing the hands. And look at this. The Canadians check back here, check raises, check back. I mean, Jack 9's got to feel with the straight, losing to boats, boards paired, but he's out of the big blind. There's not a lot of boats available. You know, I guess he's just going to go for all of it, I would think.
Yeah, I have to say so. 8-6-8 in the middle, 7-14 the effective stack. He does put it in, Jeff. And all of a sudden, Cole's top 2. I mean, we've had our fair share of tough spots today. This is definitely up there. One of the toughest ones of the day. It's got to be pretty concerning. Like, you check raise flop, get called, turn goes check, check, and now our opponent's putting us all in when check 2. So that kind of, that gut instinct, the alarm bells ringing. You try and think of bluffs. I mean, he's going to have some busted clubs. Ace X of clubs, ace 4, for example, with the ace of clubs. Cole deep in the tank. What do we think, Jack? Call or fold? Really grim spot.
He's played it so cautiously. This is intense. This is intense. Doesn't get away. I mean, can't fault him. Can't fault him how he played it. Cannot fault him.
No, not at all. I think given that that Joseph is going to have value there that we actually beat, like, he's going to jam ace king, right? So when we can think of combos that we beat, as well as obviously, if we think that they're equally split, then I think we just have to make the call. And GG's Cole. Is that one apiece now, or was that me as well? That was me as well, right?
Yeah, you're in Barney, but look at this. I'll tell you who also is Nicholas with getting a 4-1 80-20 to be at 1.7 million. And we say on here, people always say it always comes sevens. I don't know right now, not so far. It is going to need to be on the river, or else we're going to see Nicholas double up, the very dangerous player. Close, no cigar. We've got 1.7 million spotted. Our Edler is loving the action. He loves seeing people at risk. He also is going to like that there are 7 left. He's guaranteed 93,000. So he's holding on to his, what, 6? Is that right? Just over 6 big blind stack and hoping to see some more collisions, although it's kind of his moving time. No one really in trouble. And Victor, who plays so well deep stack, but also understands ICM and short stacking, has got a million chips, and he knows the move is next on the man 2 to his left. So this is gonna be interesting to see what happens. I gotta say, Simon has been really cruising nicely and chipping up. 3 million here, and the chip leader with 6.7 million going to see a flop, and advantage Simon position and out flops his opponent here. Queen Jack going to see a variety of small bets or check backs here. I would this is, again, it's fun to watch because like I could see like the 70K bet, 60K bet, or a check back here. I don't think much more. He does go for a smallish bet.
Yeah, Jetta minus, by the way, kind of down there now. You know, he was cruising comfortably middle of the pack. He's now down to 1.8. Folded the king jack from the small. Joseph drawing to one of the 2 remaining jacks, or a king as well. Talking to kings, any rivers dealer?
All right. Well, this is there's been some spicy rivers for the big stacks today. So far, so good. It is absolutely been a clinic for the chip leader right here. El Joseph 62. He's got 7 million, and we are down to 7 players. And King Jack off first in. Gotta believe this is a shove with his stack. There's nowhere to go. There's really nowhere to hide, right? This is time to get in. Pretty good hand in the situation for 4 remaining players. He's been patient.
Yeah, as you like to say, Jeff, the lowest risk premium has to run it. You know, he can't win the tournament if he allows himself to blind out. And I mean, huge pickup just by getting the effective jam through.
Yeah, big
yeah,
stuff.
This bet's not looking good for me, Jeff. I'm not gonna lie, but I am a generous man, and I will let you buy out. You know, Simon sat there on 3 mil. If you want to buy out and just instead of owing me dinner, you just owe me a dessert, I'll let you get away with it now. But this is a one-time offer.
You know what? I'm a gambling man in my heart. Although poker's a game of skill, I'm going to take my chances, and we're going to roll the dice with what we got going on here. I got a lot of chips, a lot of fake. I got the audience as well. We gave them some extra guys today. You guys have actually, they don't have Joseph. So they've lost a few of the guys, and one of the guys is short. So they have Simon and the Michaelitis. So they got 2 good stacks, but they got the chip leader to go against. We're going to give away 50 or 100. I invite you to hit that thumbs up. Thank you to the 94 that have done that. Really do appreciate that. It helps with the algorithm, helps with everything. Pappy Van Winkle, good to see you, my brother, in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you're having a good time, and I wish you luck on the giveaway today. We are going to keep it rolling, and we do have a giveaway as usual here on the show. So I am feeling good, man. I'm taking some notes. We do put highlights up on either my YouTube channel or the GG channel from the stream each week that goes out on Mondays generally, and we are having some highlight hands so far. There's been some interesting spots, and here's another slam it in and can really utilize that 500K stack with these 2 guys. I'll tell you what though, Henry, if you're going to be jamming into people who are maybe disregarding ICM, I'll tell you, Victor's not afraid to call and take a slight edge there, give himself a chance to have a shot at the whole shebang. So I don't know. I'm curious how wide from the book these guys will deviate, knowing what the chip leader is doing, what he's shoving. Like, what do you think the cutoff is for those 2 players, for Victor and Nicholas there, to call? I mean, what do you think they actually would do? Because I mean, I think they will go a little wider than what the book would tell you.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I think ace jack suited, ace queen o, you know, then they're not just going to let him steamroll. But we've seen it time and time again, though, Jeff. We've seen it time and time again where these players do take the more conservative line for obvious reasons, because they like making money, and they know that the solver and the computers and the tools that they have that teach them all of these things say folding makes you money in this spot. So they're always going to take the spot that makes them money. But obviously, like you already mentioned, they've probably seen the 10-5 hand. They've seen some of the open jams, so they know how wide it is, and they know what their range is going to look like against, his range. And they'll take the plus EV spots, I think. But at the moment, 7-handed it is when the ICM noose is at its tightest, and well, chip leader going to be in a bit of trouble here, Jeff.
Yeah, this is gonna potentially shift. Although the same thing though, right? He's also not looking to build a massive pot where he could get cooler. And I think I like that. He does start with the check back. I understand that. Maybe he goes for 2 streets and doesn't want to get blown up somehow, right? Against a 2-pair, flop 2-pair, or even against a draw, or that he could be vulnerable to. So now he just decides to go into check call formation. And he may actually lose a lot of value, because now you see Joseph dictate the pot size, bet out here, and likely just going to go call. And then depending on the river, if it's check to or bet, he may end up not winning a huge pot, but at the same time, he doesn't put himself at risk. And there's a chance he also does blow it up, right? Based on the sizing, that he does go for some raising here. Although, okay, so he does have a plan in mind, and he goes that way.
Yeah, it does indeed. Really grim spot for the chip leader now. It's tough to think of like natural bluffs, and unless he's just taking like his strongest Jack X and trying to just buy himself, a discounted river where Joseph is always just going to check river to us and we just get to check behind. But that doesn't feel very natural, like raising a hand like King Jack suited. Although the flop did go check, check.
Wow. Ace queen. So nice. I mean, again, makes sense. These guys are basically tied for the chip lead and a more passive line. But I like it. I like how he played it. I just maybe could have got 2 streets. He did get a decent turn size bet and sort of was able to feel where he was at and really get control of the hand. I think there would be some rivers he would value bet, decided not to there. And as it stands, he is in second place, started out as chip leader and sort of essentially tied for first place here. And now again, the ace here, shortest stack off the 6 blinds. Think we're going to see it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. We can't win the tournament by folding. It was shortest chip stack by a long shot. Yeah, even doubling up here, we're still going to be the shortest stack, but it's going to give us a bit more breathing room. Have to run it here with the ace 5.
Yeah,
and we still have fold equity. We still have fold equity. It's not like this is a 2 big blind stack and the big blind has to call any 2. Chip leader with queen 5. We just get to pick up the dead money in the middle.
Yeah.
Jeff, what are you rocking there? You got a Roma top on again.
Yeah, this is the new one, man. This is the new. Look at it.
That looks dope.
It's a hologram on the jersey there. It's cool. They got the new version. I'm a big fan. This guy Dybala, I don't know if you follow it at all. He's been crushing, absolutely, like huge signing for them, and they're looking in good form, playing well and doing good. Had a big win last week. So I keep up with it. It's nice to have a team that I'm like actually invested in terms of interest and I feel affiliated to. Like I'm rooting for them. I follow it. I know what's going on. And I love soccer so much, or football, however you call it in the world. And it's been years since I've like really gotten into it. And it's cool. It's fun to follow one team because you sort of tangentially learn right about the league and other players and you keep up with things. So who's your squad? Who's your main squad again?
I don't really have one, man. I'm a bit of a just football / soccer fanboy. Whenever any of the big finals or the big teams, used to love watching the El Clasicos back in the day. Roma against Juventus, those types of big matches where 2 of like the top clubs kind of collide. The Euros or the World Cup, but I can't say that I'm, a regular watcher. I haven't watched any soccer in quite a long time. But no, I can get behind the one team thing because it's not that overwhelming in the sense that you just have your one team, you keep up to date with them, and it's not taking up too much of your time. I was going to ask if you're going to go out to see the World Cup, if you're going to go and watch any of the matches.
I don't think so. As of now, I'm not planning. I've been doing a lot of traveling, kind of excited to get back home. And honestly, just the whole setup of all that, it seems a bit overwhelming, like the setup, how it is there with what's available and how it would be. So I don't know. I'm not going to say 0%. I'd say like 15%. If something falls in my lap, someone's like, hey, like, got a room set up, or I got some great something that's like makes it super easy, I would consider it, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way and go crazy to like get there and do it. I think you get England versus USA around Thanksgiving though, right after maybe is a game. That would be pretty special to see. That would be fun, but I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same as you, man. Like I would love to, but it's something that I've definitely left too late. In terms of ticket availability and just prices of flights and hotels and accommodation, it's very, very tough. But I definitely want to do it at some point in my life. It's definitely on the bucket list to just go to a World Cup finals. Regardless of who makes the finals, just for the experience would be pretty incredible. They need to have like a neutral stand, at these like matches, not just soccer, but NFL, whoever it is. If you're not, hang on a minute.
Wow.
Simon against the short stack.
Ooh,
it's live.
Flops and a little extra equity. Board pairs on the turn, and you can see the percentages needs an ace or a deuce on the river, and it is not gonna be. And Simon, the rich get richer, over 3 million still, and we see the GGs in the chat from your reigning World Series of Poker main event champion. Simon Matson is going to knock this player 1.8 million on GG's. Got the 666 ranking, a little spooky. Maybe that'll shoot him up after that score, and he is now our 7th place finisher. And we see 6 crushers left playing for a lot of money, as we see 118,000 locked up, and this is exciting. We're getting to it, Henry. 6 left. Big stacks on the left there from Simon, as well as, I mean, this is honestly, these players, there's some household names here. This is a treat to watch this six-handed here.
Wait, can I buy out of my bet yet? Like, when the 6 left and you've still got all 4 of your players in the mix, and not only have you got all 4 of them in, 2 of them are kind of runaway chip leaders. It's gonna be a tough one for me to win. It's going to be a tough one for Simon to win as well, because he's turned equity now. He's picked up equity on the turn, turning a pair of 4s, and I think this will likely slow him down. Whereas he may have got somewhat creative on a 5 or a deuce turn, or a king or a queen overcard to the board. Let's see if Joseph just comes with a little block ski here, something in the form of 20%, 15, 20% pot.
Goes for a bigger.
Goes bigger. Okay. Goes for that value. Knows he's got the best hand.
Interesting. That is interesting sizing for sure. And actually could trip up Matson, right? He could just think the same thing. It's like either sort of bladed or not, and it's kind of hard to flop a flush. 118-1. This would be on the little more the cape, the hero side, although it's polarizing, right? It is a polarizing bet. He does get called. So cheers to Joseph there, man. Joseph getting a nice chunky value bet in. Really, that was to your point. I think it's a value bet. That was a nice value bet there. Very nice.
Yeah. Very nice value bet. I love that term that you just used. If he's bladed or not. I'm gonna steal that, Jeff. Just to let you know now, I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, that's that's totally allowed, Henry. We can share. Look, if I've let you stay in my house, I'll let you, use some of my terminology, no problem. This is definitely been a high level final table. We're seeing some of the best players in the world battle for 400,000 today. Hope you guys are enjoying. Again, this has definitely been fun and gone fairly fast. And based on the shakeout of the chips, we are definitely seeing what it looks like shaping up for a heads up between Michaelitis and Joseph, but there's definitely some players that would love to intervene with that plan and have stacks that can do so. So plenty of stuff left. And let's see here with the 40-80 level, ace queen, pretty nice hand. He does go for a 2.5x raise, not a shove, as we are deeper. And Nicholas gonna go ahead and peel here and find himself dominated. Comes king 10-10, 2 diamonds, ace queen in the lead, in position. And let's see, does go for a 20%-ish pot.
And Nicholas has done a tremendous job chipping up. If I'm not mistaken, was shortest stack at one point for a decent part of the tournament with 9-handed. So tip the hat to him for turning it around. And well, talking of turning it around, he's turned the best hand. Diamond does roll off. And well, the old suck resuck, Jack of Hearts on the river. Oh man, the Michaelatus gonna be back up to, well, just shy of 6 million. Feels like a tough run out to get Nicholas to call with bottom pair.
Wow, nice river coming home there. Ace queen, there is diamonds there, but does go for the value bet. And this is gonna be, I mean, ace 5 off. There's just so much happening. Flushes, straights, anything that beats you. It'd be pretty hard to find a hand that you beat. It would be a insane hero call. The fact that he's tanking this long, though, you know, it kind of shows, right? He believed he had the best hand on the turn, and this is definitely a low on the totem pole card that came on the river, and he does ultimately fold. But could also be playing a lot of tables, Henry. I don't know if he was really considering the call there.
He could be. That's always the sweat, right? When someone's tanking, it's like, have they just got 10 other tables open? Right, chip lead, these second in chips here. Doesn't come ace high this time round. Fortunately for Joseph. It's been intense. What, 6 left, 118k up top. I mean, these ladders are really getting sizable now, you know? So almost a 3.5 buy-in ladder between 6th and 5th. Some of the best players in the world still in the mix.
Yeah, ace queen, ace jack. So this is a problematic card. And this is, we could see some blood here for sure. I mean, if you're ace queen and you're betting, you get the offsuit ace, non-spade, you are you're bluffing, you hit your card, improve dramatically, and there's a lot of draws there. I could see a meaty bet here. This might be one big bet, and then it gets called like slow down on the river, but he is in a absolutely crushing position here. He can't know it, right? That he has that big of a lead, but look at this. And if you're Joseph, how, there's no way, surely when you float there and hit the ace, there's just almost no chance you can fold. So we could see a shift in chip lead power here for sure. And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Not only that as well, like the shift that you talk about is gonna really be detrimental to Joseph because he's gonna have the chip leader on his left again, and with the ICM implications, again, he's just gonna have to play pretty snug. Although the difference isn't gonna be huge, right? It's only gonna be a 15 big blind chip lead. See if Michaelatus comes for some value. He did check behind in a previous spot that he played against Joseph. Sorry, he did check back river in a previous spot. But ace queen does feel like you can get some value. You know, 10s through queens, as well as some of the slow played king queen suited, king jack suited on the play. He does knuckle it back. Okay. Yeah. He played a similar spot earlier on. Hey, very easy. Dude, what's up, man? One of the hottest poker Twitch streamers out there at the moment. Every time I log on, which is rarely, I'm rarely on Twitch nowadays, but the past couple of weeks, whenever I've seen you live, you just seem to be crushing it. The viewers, man, love to see it.
Yeah, saying hello, guys. Give him a follow if you don't already. Appreciate him tuning in. Love to have him a guest on the show coming up. We are seeing another couple big hands here. Ace jack suited versus the ace king. Although there's a raise and a 3-bet ace jack suited. This is a big ask to get out of the way. Although chip leader open and Nicholas goes for a 3-bet. So definitely could see him avert a collision here, but he is in the tank, rightfully so.
Yeah, he does say run it. Does say run it. This is really unfortunate in terms of just like waking up with the legit decision here, legit hand.
Yeah, well, he's going to need to get lucky. And look at that. Lightning in a bottle. He gets it on the flop. And we are going to see a river card coming. If it is not a king, it is not. And Nicholas now still in, but very short. And Gediminas going to go ahead and look at the jacks. I'm with a little salt in his fellow countryman's womb saying so sick. And that would have been a knockout and a huge moment for everyone involved. But as it stands, Nicholas now on the short stack, 500,000 with Victor at 870 and everyone else pretty healthy. Huge swing for the tournament there, man. It's never easy. It's never easy. That's part of being aggressive is you're allowed to get there. They're allowed to win.
Yeah, you definitely are, man. You're definitely allowed to win. When it comes to being empathetic for someone like Nicholas, who has won, everything and anything there is to win, but still, he's done such a great job of being, 9 of 9 to nursing up a really healthy stack and giving himself a chance to actually go on to win this tournament. So definitely feel for him in that sense, for getting 2 out of there. I just want to say, you mentioned the shout out to Barry Uzi to follow his channel. Honestly, some of the most entertaining poker content, not just in the form of actual skill set, but from an entertainment point of view. And I want to shoot my shot, Jeff. Barry Uzi, it's my 28th birthday in a month's time, and I would love for you to video edit mine and Jeff's face in one of your comedic break videos. Because every time I tune in, and it goes to a break, I'm in absolute stitches, mate. I'm in absolute stitches. So if you could put something together for my 28th, that'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, well, I've heard great things. I've seen a bit. I need to tune in more. As I said, time has been, you'll understand, Henry. We have kids, but I've heard nothing but great things. I haven't seen too much of it. I just know he's a great content creator. Also a newest member of Team GG, Team Canada there as well. He is a streamer and representing the best brand in poker at the moment by far. GGPoker, I think everyone can agree, biggest prizes, best software, and just kind of got everything working for him, as well as a great new science. So welcome to the team, man. And there it is. He's got it. He's putting you in, Henry. He said you're locked in. So that's
good.
There it is. There it is. And here it is as well. Nicholas, the ace deuce on the 7-3-4. He's got a gut shot and he does check raise it in, and 10's gonna fist pump it in. Maybe a little bit of revenge on a lucky, a 72-28. Can he get it? Not on the turn. And just like that, 16% to the river needs the space ace or a 5, and it is none of it. It's paint, and it is not quite it. It is a 6th-place finish. Good game. A jack is shown from Victor for who knows why. Would have showed he would have won, but look at that. Nicholas, 21 million in earnings, and this guy, number 8 in the Super Millions rankings, an absolute force of nature and force of poker, just a crusher. Look at that smile on his face. Again, rightfully so. And when you scored 20 million plus on one online platform, that is wild. That is honestly a bit over the top, like to process what that even means. So, I remember when like 10 million was like the #1 player in the world online in earnings. Like it was like a huge deal to cross 10 million, earnings, like Mormon and I think B Paris and a few guys. So like to have 20 million on GG alone, it's scary to think about what he's done across all the networks. And we will be seeing more of Nicholas. I am sure he will not get his 6th Super Millions title today, though. He will have to sit on 5, and we'll see him on another week. And Simon going to pick up the 8-9 suited on the button and pick it up the pot. And he's got almost 5 million. So everyone healthy other than Victor. Victor, though, he's done a good job with the distribution he's got. He's locked up 150,000, and he is the shortest stack with 5 remaining.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, I remember when I first got into poker, winning the WSOP main would automatically shoot you up the Hendon mob, and you would surpass all of the online crushers. Whereas now it's a lot closer. Like the top online rankings in terms of total earnings, for the most part, actually surpass a lot of the live guys. So it's a bit of a gray area, obviously, because we can't really track, buy-ins for live and sometimes for online as well. So it's not as clear cut as that. But yeah, I mean, some of this younger generation, this online generation, or even people that you already mentioned, like Mormon, for example, seem to just be consistently getting after it. It's you got to give credit where credit's due to these guys when it comes to consistency.
Yeah, no question about it. And here we are seeing the ace-9 open, picks it up. Would have called Victor shove if he had a hand to do so. He doesn't, and Victor will take the button here on the 40K, 80K stack. So he is on what, 7 blinds, just under 7 blinds, 2 deuces with a chip lead. Gonna open up, not get any action, everything kind of working. So yeah, I mean, look, this the 1, 2, and 3 stacks, that's how they started the day, and that's how they are 5-handed. So going pretty well for the chip leaders of the day that started the podium. And it's kind of interesting how it's sort of shaken that way. Of course, they say you should always beat the guys on your left, right? That's sort of the thing in the tournament. You have a huge advantage with the position. That's shaken out as it plays out. And let's see if Victor can get back in it and cause a little bit of havoc or not. But this is a dangerous spot for Geta Minas, although the one saving grace is the ace is on the board, right? It's not 3, 4 queen. So not necessarily just going to get carved up, although expect him to be seeing another card at least.
Mate, you're absolutely smashing it today with some of these one-liners. Carved up, dialed in, like everything. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
You got to tune in more often, Henry. We have a fun show here. We got a great audience, and it's always, this is, to me, it's such a treat. It doesn't even feel like work, coming in. It's like, it's just fun. For me, it's the best way to see the best players in the world get to maneuver in these situations, and it is it's fun. So let's keep it going. You got to come more often, man. This isn't, we might have to work it in. I know you're busy, and you're in Bulgaria, you're all over the world, you're traveling. One of your best friends won the main event for 10 mil. This year, so that I'm sure you guys are busy. Over Bet Express and Co are making moves, and you're traveling the world, man. You're living everyone's dream right now.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been a very fun year for sure. Honestly, I think for me, one of the most rewarding things in poker is just having like a strong team around you, and seeing your team do well. Espen, you're just making history. It's the type of things that you dream of, right? Like you want to, in your 20s, surround yourself with a group of people that are going to, aid each other to go to new heights. And when you see those closest to you succeed, it's really rewarding, especially when you know the work that's been put in as well. So definitely been a fun year for the crew, and yeah, we're looking forward to next year as well. We still got a lot coming up this year. But I think Espen's gonna go on and kind of just do what he's already been doing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy, and what a ride. And I mean, that, like, I think to know even someone well that's won the main event, it's so crazy, let alone to be like one of your inner circle and closest friends. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and was fun. And how did he enjoy Cyprus, playing the high stakes? I got to catch up with him a little bit there, but it's what was his sort of taste in the high stakes stuff? What's his overall takeaways?
I think he was just incredibly humbled by the experience. I didn't really get to talk that much, to be honest with you, because obviously I was grinding the commentary, he was grinding the tourneys, so we didn't get that much downtime. But we will definitely catch up and talk about it at some point. But I think for the most part, for Espen, it was just like a dream come true. Everything they'd been working towards was to be able to compete with those guys, and the issue had always obviously been bankroll. So to get that opportunity, I think he just took it as humbly as he could, and was very humbled by the experience to play with people that he idolized. So yeah, it's always the case, man. I mean, you're the same, right? I mean, you played with so many heroes. Let's just jump back into this quickly, because
wow,
Simon and Victor
gonna jam into ace jack. So it is a wow. I was just gonna say it's looking grim, but it is going to be lightning in a bottle there for Victor. He is going to stay in the game, and a big swing, of course, for a double instead of a knockout as we stay 5-handed. $42,000 pay jump, on the line. And Victor 10 blinds, dangerous, 11 blinds, actually. Don't count him out. He is always available to cause havoc, and he did just that. Simon, been having a smooth ride until there, still healthy with 1.6 million, although that was an important pot, of course. He is the next shortest stack. So blinds are up all of a sudden, and Victor now below 10 blinds, below 9 blinds, 871,000. So he's got a weak ace here. He is got 3 players left to act, and this is close. And if he shoves, ace 9 suited would certainly be would pique the interest, rightfully so, although there'd be a player behind, but does get the fold, and now we'll see a blind on blind.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be really difficult for Malinowski and Simon to kind of pull back in this. You know, they, like you said, they do still have chips, so let's not count them as down and out just yet, because both of these players are capable of turning it around. But this is, they're at the bottom, they're at base camp of Mount Everest right now, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. But more importantly, I've still got 2 people in this bet, so 2's better than 1.
Yeah, that's not over for sure. The audience, again, guys, I welcome you to hit that thumbs up. 132 of you have done that so far. Henry, I don't know if you've even done it. Sometimes I forget myself. Take a second. We got 2,000 people watching. Okay, hi. Give me a kiss.
Yo, what's up, Joseph? What's up,
Say
dude?
hi. I want to say hi.
How's it going, dude?
Eddie's on a show. Okay, you got a stick.
What's up, Jay?
Say hi.
He's got the drumsticks. Let's go.
Back. Good school today. High five. I got it. Your daddy's on a show. I gotta go, but oh wow, amazing. Okay. All right, here. Go say hi to mama. Oh, no, you gotta go. Okay. All right. Well, sometimes when you don't close the door.
Future legend. Future young legend right there, chat.
He just came flying in. Sorry about that. He Joseph, man, he understands. He's seen some cards in his day, that's for sure. He's understanding early. He's 3.5, but man, sorry about that. He just came flying in, and we got a big spot here, man. Look at this. 9s to queen 9 suited. There is a call and a bink on the turn. He does secure the best hand at the moment. Of course, a king or a 9 could change that, but a lot of money in the middle and does check. And this is not a card that our friend Geta Minus is going to love here. So let's see what he does. Does check back.
Yeah, I'm curious. Okay, he knuckles it over.
Interesting. And
yeah, Geta Minus might go for some value here, you know. Is a button limp.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, like, you just beat a lot of stuff. They call it 7. There's a lot of 7s. There's now, so it's kind of like a flush or nothing. And that was yeah, that is going to be interested if it gets check raised or not.
It does come with the check raise, JG.
Yeah, I like it.
All of a sudden, the nine shrink up, no spade against the 100% range in the big. You know, do we expect Michaelatis to turn like? No, I don't think he's turning like a 7 with a spade into a bluff that just plays much better as a check call. We have like a really good hand to show down, so we're looking for kind of single spade floats. Chip leader with queens. Oh boy. Unfortunately, not going to get much more action than this 250k. Assuming that he does 3-bet pre. $151k locked up, 400k for first.
Yeah, there's a lot to play for, and there is now Victor who is short stacked again. The blinds have gone up. He did get that sort of miracle jack to stay alive, but he is going to be He is going to need some help here, and we see the Jack-8 shove, and this is our guy that can do it. This is a chip leader that is not afraid to push the envelope, take the marginal spots, put pressure on people, and he is chipping up nicely. First to 9 million today, got a 1.5 lead on our friend L Joseph. So that is again, he's got a okay. All right, Henry, we're starting to see he's exercising his option. And look at this, Victor, if you were to call off, would be in a world of hurt here, dominated, needing a lot of help. And I mean, can you blame him? He realizes that this guy's going to be shoving pretty light. He beats a lot of the hands that he's shoving. He happens to have a better hand. So this would be wow. Look at the instincts from Victor there, man. Pretty sick. And also realizes there are some guys that could call, right? That might call for a big shove and have a chance to be eliminated as well. But I'm impressed with that fold there. I think you could easily call there, and rightfully. I don't think it would be crazy to call there.
Yeah, I wouldn't fault him, but it is also, I believe at the time, like a 26 big blind effective jam. So something to take note of as well. Obviously, if it was blind D blind or button versus big blind, I think Victor snap calls. Simon taking the spot, the ace-9. Kind of referencing back to what Jeff was talking about, it makes a lot of sense. We know that the chip lead is going to be super wide, so jamming a hand like ace-9 off there going to be really profitable, just because you're just going to have so many raise folds. Oh, you know, I would love to see like a induce here. Okay, that's just a fair. I guess we're not really allowed to induce when we're 3 of 5. Don't know if there are any ICM wizards in the chat. But I guess inducing is dangerous.
Yeah, we see the snap shove with kings does show it. I mean, there's really no play there to limp in that he really has 100% shove. So just does do that. 9-10 suited, same thing here. Likely just gonna rip it, and ace-5 is gonna. This is different. This feels different on the button. He's got ace-5. He's got 5 bigs. I think we'll see. With only one player left to act, this will likely get put in here.
Yeah, Victor gonna need to make a stand very soon, right? Like that big blind coming round. Every 5 hands. If he folds, he's gonna have like 3 hands to wake up with the hand and take a spot. Okay, he thinks he's still deep enough to fold this spot, and well, there you go. Ace-8. See if he runs this one.
If he even gets a chance, 6-7 suited with the short stack, he could easily 3-bet this or flat. Likely 3-bet. I don't think he's going to flat induce. He does go ahead and flat, although this makes it inherently more tricky. And look at that. He kind of protects that shove from a hand by doing so. And look at this. He's got a winner at the moment in position, outflops his opponent 600K. And this is not fun for Joseph getting flatted, right? Because you really don't want to be messing around. Your risk premium is so high. It's through the roof. Can you imagine getting stacked when you're second with 5.2 million and no one has over 2 point, like literally you're double third, and you somehow get 150 instead of 300K, for example? It would be an absolute nightmare. So this is a little bit tricky, although you kind of realize you do have the back. You got 2 overs in the backdoor diamonds, could be good enough to call. Although, I mean, I think it is. It's just kind of one of those spots where you're really just sort of, do you want to be peeling with king queen off out of position versus the chip leader too, and not knowing if you want to hit the queen or the king. So I can't fault him for folding. And this is the Michaelitis show right now. He is absolutely going for it. And Victor being a nice aid to his plan, because Victor's been playing been folding and letting him get away with a few of the spots. Although as we saw the ace-9, ace-7, he would have been dominated, but he is getting out of the way. And I'm a little surprised, but I think Victor's got a nice game plan. And as you see, he's really comfortable on a short stack and just decides he's going to try to find a spot to get it in good here. As we see the 9-5 suited going to outflop Jack Queen again. And I mean, my man's on his way to 10 mil. He is pretty healthily in a spot now where he is coming up to over 10 million chips, and started a chip leader, and he is 1 of 5 dominant right now.
Yeah, half the chips in play, 5 left in a very, very strong spot. There's something you mentioned as well, that Malinovsky working as an aid to Michaelitis. I couldn't have worded it better myself. Aid in the sense that because Malinovsky's so short, that all of these players, you know, even Joseph, who's on 50 bigs, Jetta minus, you know, Simon, they all have to proceed so cautiously against the chip leader. Because yeah, like Jeff mentioned, you know, for Joseph to potentially bust in fifth when he's currently second, this should be a double spot for Malinowski. I think Mikolai is going to be jamming close to range, feels like.
Wow. Does he ever just fold or limp? Could you imagine? I mean, like,
I mean, as you mentioned, you know, Malinowski does work as an aid for him. So like keeping Malinowski short but still in makes a lot of sense. It allows him to be able to kind of like open pile into Simon, into Jetta minus. So I mean, Victor's going to be laughing so hard right now.
wow. 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 And like, here we go. Look at this. And he gets to do exactly this. Now Victor maybe decides to fold. And even if one of these guys call, he doesn't mind. Although A7 really can't call 15 blinds when Victor has 5. And this is pretty savage. He goes for the limp, not the shove, though.
Yeah, pretty wild. See if Simon just jams over the top of this against the min. Maybe some red flags in his mind, because Mikolaitis has just been open ripping. Some chat between the two. Simon with one of those hands that, you know, you're obviously going to have the best hand a lot of the time, but you also don't want to just let your opponent realize their equity when they're more often than not going to have 6 ounce twice. So see if he comes with like check raise here for value, obviously, top pair, top kicker. Really don't want to give a free card to, you know, king, queen, king, jack, queen, jack, jack 10, all those hands that have 6 ounce in equity.
And I will do the giveaway pretty soon here, guys. So please hit that thumbs up. I will give you a keyword to enter plus your GG screen name. If you don't have a screen name on GG, you might have a friend that does, or someone that you want to gift it to or split it with, but it will be $50 or $100 depending on who finishes where. And we are going to see a check raise and a call. So 1.3 in the middle, and Simon now, no, pretty safe turn, but still you're a little concerned, right? You don't want to go out before Victor, although you're so high up in the range, top on the 7 deuce 4 turn deuce board. Very curious what you do here if you give you do for the check. So now let's see what he comes with. Wants to check or bet, and does take his free card.
Yeah, I don't think betting makes much sense. Like we're okay, you know, there are some worlds where we want to try and deny some equity against like the 8-6s, 6-3s, 6-5s, 8-5s. A lot of them aren't even defending pre, just because of ICM and because Malinowski's so shallow. So even though we want to try and get, you know, potentially get some protection, we have the best hand against those hands, and I don't think we're ever getting better to fold. So I like the check behind, and well, now he piles, and I don't think Simon ever gets to fold here. It's very, very high up in range. And the 9 of hearts, yes, it's an overcard for the board, but it's not a very relevant one in my opinion.
Pretty sick. I mean, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's just so crazy. I don't either. I don't think he folds, but like I could see it. It was a weird hand. It's a weird hand. He got check raise called, and then check turn, and now shoves river. Yeah, it's the 9 is sort of a random card, but he guess he kind of would treat. Wow, man. Wow, this guy, my man D Mikolaitis, is absolutely playing above the rim today. Really, just with the plan. I mean, that is an ambitious bluff. He has a win already. The player, my man here, is capable of winning. He's taken down a Super Millions before in season 2. He has 777,000 in Super Millions winnings alone. And wow, playing out of his mind. Really crazy hand there. Honestly, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a strong play from Mikolaitis there. Simon was just one click of a button away from being up to third in chips, 3.2 million, but decides to fold the A7. And now we just have like a, you know, a really sick spot. We got 2 sub 10 big blind stacks. Chip leader with closing in on 60% of the chips in play. Really, really strong performance here.
Ooh, couple real hands. The big stacks yet again. Gonna tango, likely gonna go upstairs. The ace nine suited to 3.5, 4x, and sixes gonna definitely have to peel. Goes 3.5, and L Joseph 62 is, I'd imagine, just gonna call. And wow, we got a big flop. Ace nine suited. Almost the only thing crazy would have been the ace 10 6 diamond flop. That would have been insane. But we are, you know, ace nine suited, likely gonna go small here. Doesn't have to be scared of much. And sixes again, not really a fun spot, right? You really, what you're trying to do, hit like the one outer in your mind, right? You can't even a 6 of diamonds. You wouldn't necessarily feel good about, you know, you would, you can't just give your player a flush, but either way, he does peel one card. And now this card actually could get him a little bit of trouble. It's possible, but the draw just depends on the sizing here. If he does go big. Does go big. Yep.
Miko getting a lot of love in the chat for his performance thus far. He's still got to close it out, but yeah, I definitely agree. It's been, from an ICM point of view, feels like an ICM masterclass on his part. It's been solid. Malinowski, 4.2 bigs, queen high. I honestly don't know. You've got Simon on 9 bigs. Yeah, this is grim. I don't know what the answer is to this.
Yeah, queen 3 off. You just got to assume that you probably have the best hand a lot, but you're calling off. You're gonna have to get it in. He does call it off. Gonna see the bad news.
Yeah.
Aces and kings blind on blind before, and this is a 99.39. That's all over, but the running queens. Good game, nice fight from Victor. Maybe a little too careful at the end, but at the same time, he just seems to have such a good plan, and he actually avoided the ace 7, ace 9, which almost everyone would call off. Maybe that ace 8 spot, but it was a flat. It was a raise and a flat. Can't blame him for folding there. Just ultimately 10 million in GGPoker earnings, 3.8 in the Super Millions. The number 4 ranked player on Super Millions. I do want to get a formula and understand what that is exactly, right? Is that off of earnings, I believe, or is it maybe the points? Because I know there's big plans with GG in the Super Millions. Can't really say much more, but there is also a live version of the Super Millions where it's going to track, Henry, your lifetime results, right? Plus or minus. So there'll be a live version of that, and then you'll know, right? Because, you know, Hen and Mob's cool. You see someone has 20 million earnings, but maybe they have 25 million in buy-ins. So it's kind of cool for one format, one series to see how you perform, what your plus minus is, how you do, and it'll be kind of a uniform thing. So that's one thing I can say, but there will also be some more online stuff coming up. A lot of plans, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of familiar faces here join us. Already 200 thumbs up out of the 2,200. I'm curious what the other 2,000 are doing. Maybe they're not enjoying, maybe they're not available to click the like on the thumb, or maybe they just don't love the show. But Henry, I love the show. I love everyone watching here. I hope you guys hit the thumbs up, and I will at three-handed announce the keyword. If you hit the thumbs up and you enter the keyword plus your GG username or whoever you want to give the giveaway to, it'll be a $50 or $100. The chip leader is one of the people that would be 100 if they were to win. So it is a, you know, it's looking possible right now.
Yeah, definitely looking possible. Wow. Okay, boys, strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna have a little all-in spot here. Jenna minus 5 cards away from getting a huge double. If he can just hold with the ladies here.
Queens to ace jack of diamonds. Safe turn-ish, safe-ish.
Never easy.
Mix up some outs, never easy, and it is not going to be a 4 or an ace in the river, and we will see a shift in power. Get a minus is going to be up to 4.5 million. L Joseph, who has had a pretty smooth ride here, 2.5, but it is Simon next up, who is going to have to make a move, as he is guaranteed 193,000. Big old jump for 246,000 to third. And Simon going to find a way to double, see if he can get himself back in it, or we will be three-handed. And it is the Michaelitis show today. He has been playing lights out, running well, playing well, and going to shove here. And King 6 snap call, no hesitation. Jack 4, popular hand. in the world right now. Jack 4 to King 6. There is a jack on the flop and a queen. So picks up a little additional outs, but Simon going to need a world of help on the river. And it is an 8. Not great for Simon. He is out in fourth. Good game. Hand claps all around to the man, the myth, the current World Series of Poker champion online. Look at this guy, number 5 in the Super Millions. And he just keeps etching himself more into the history books of poker. So another great showing for Simon. Good to see him, and congrats on another good run. And currently, though, it is a absolute hype show for Michaelitis. He is really putting it on right now. And El Joseph now guaranteed 246 in third. Shortest stack, has a pair, has 20 bigs. This has all the signs of a ram jam. Thank you, ma'am. Let's see if he can just ship it. And he does go ahead and bet commit and gets the snap hold. So a nice pickup for El Joseph, tightening that second and third gap. And it is a big lead for Michaelitis.
Also, GG's in the chat for you, Jeff. You won the bet, mate. Or ripped me.
Wow. This is a clean sweep. I think we're not doing like, when people do red or black, and then they do if it's all red or black or 2 or 3 for more. We didn't do like a triple dinner, like a 20K scoop clean sheet. There wasn't any of that, right? I forget how we did it because I've never really seen a 1, 2, 3 beat down. This is not a big sweat for that.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
But we'll just do we'll keep it out as it is. It'll be a nice dinner. Definitely deserve a few drinks, and we'll do that in Miami at some point or somewhere in the world. This is still the audience though sweating. Who do they have? They just have the chip leader, right? They had Yuri, they had Simon.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So audience, you guys. Oh, and let me cue the keyword. It's going to be GG, and then your username on GG. So type GG and then your username, and that if you are selected, you will be getting a $50 or $100 ticket. A favorite to be 100 right now, although it's not over yet. The Michaelitis, let's see if he can go wire to wire and close this one off. He dropped into second for a bit, but ultimately is still in the lead.
Yeah, certainly looking like it's his to lose at present. Yeah, the mixture of running well and playing well is it's the most lethal combo in poker.
Yeah,
it really is. All right, let me see if I recognize any screen names in here. That's what I want to see. I want to see if I played against any of these guys in the chat. It's going a bit too fast for me though.
It's going fast. GG and then the screen name. All right, we'll do that. And once we get the heads up, we'll pause that. You guys got to hit the thumbs up, put in GG and then your username. Good luck to all of you. Appreciate all of you who are here watching, and we are seeing a little sauce, a little spice from El Joseph 62. Going to go ahead and take the ace deuce upstairs.
Yeah. So what is this? So there's not. Wow. Yeah. There's 19 million in play. Miko just sound 13.3, just absolutely cruising. And wow, somehow feels like he's going to win this one as well. Queen 5-3, open ender for Miko. Jedemiah with ace jack, ace high, backdoor diamonds. That's a spicy turn card.
Yeah,
that's a spicy turn card. There are a couple of cards in the deck where Jedemiah might get the full double,
Wow. This is he goes for the big bet size. The interesting part is if a brick comes off, he calls here. He does call, and this is just when it's your day, it's your day. This is an insane river card. Not even the 7, like just like the stone cold absolute nut on the river. And like the crazier part is he's going to now have the 2 players on the exact same stack, right? He's up to at least, I mean, huge. And he does, like, if there are some things that miss here, of course, having the diamonds isn't great, right? In the sense that is a unlikely draw that he would have that misses, but 6-7 misses, 6-9 misses. There are some things that miss here. I just don't know if this is the time to put the cape on.
Yeah, having the jack isn't great as well, blocking some of those jack 10, jack 9 type holdings. I'd rather, it sounds obvious, but I'd rather hero call with ace king rather than ace jack. Yeah, it does get away from it. Man, this is, I haven't seen something like this in a very, very long time. Joseph and Jedemiah is currently playing for second.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you know, he can really start pushing the envelope here. He does go for the 3x. Both players gonna have to be pretty cautious here. We'll let this keep going for a little bit. You guys still have time to hit the thumbs up, be eligible for the giveaway, and again, put your username. You just have to do it once. I see a lot of people in here. That's how you wake them up, Henry. 2,000 plus watching right now. Give a little giveaway, give a little screen name in there. Good to know a lot of people have the GG account, a username. And again, if you don't, you could always give it to your friend. You could always pass it along. You could always put their name and give them a ticket, or maybe give it to them and get a part of the free roll if they were to do that. So yeah, that was I see a lot of people waking up in the chat. Maybe there was some siestas, a little bit of naps. Maybe they were meditating, listening, not watching, and now they're in there putting it in there. So let's see what happens, and let's see what happens here. 10-3, Jack 6. Jack 6 suited turns some equity now with the open ended, although there's 3 diamonds, and 10-3 off goes ahead and doesn't do anything. And this is a card, though, you think about it, Gediminas is got Jack 6. 10-3 off has like basically the absolute worst hand they can have, but as played, he realizes that Gediminas is going to be playing kind of cautious, pot controlling. Just gives I like that. I like that give up here, right? You kind of recognize how tight Gediminas is going to be. You didn't take a stab at it. One shell may not just work here. So, you know, Jack high, look at that. He's going to be thrilled to see that is good. But I actually like the discipline for Michaelitis there, not to just go with the no equity bluff on that run out as played. So a good discipline there. He can pick up so many pots, put them in so many difficult situations. You can't just, as chip leader, it sometimes feel like you're supposed to win every pot and go for it, but that's not usually the answer. It would have worked there, but I do like that discipline.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. You know, oftentimes you bottom of range. I'm not sure how everyone feels about that. Maybe a miss C bet, but like you said, you know, the range of hands are actually going to call the 3x free flop. Going to be a lot tighter than usual, and 10-3, just knuckling it down. Jeremiah's going to be happy to scoop that one up with the jack high. And yeah, a lot of people waking up in the chat, Jeff, and I believe the reason that is not only because of the giveaway, but also because, you know, they've got the notepads out. They've just been sat here taking notes, studying these guys.
It's true.
A lot of value in these streams.
It's true. It's just absolutely true. We're in for a treat. We have got ourselves a 3-handed match, a lot of money on the line, 400K up top, 246 guaranteed. Ace-5 suited going to go ahead and take a bet here. I like it, right? Just sort of deny equity. You have a gut shot. You also could just have the best hand. There are some draws. Does take it down. There's a look at your payouts. The very talented Brazilian going out in 9th. Early on, Simon and Victor and Nicholas in the middle, 4th, 5th, 6th, 3 of the more powerful names in poker. And we see Michaelitis, if I'm pronouncing again, apologize if not correct, but he is just, you know, he is just absolutely ravaging. 14 million. He's got his guys chipped down. He is getting a little bit of, he's getting good distribution. He's getting opening hands, playable hands, and this is just enough. He says, I'll risk the 3 million stack if somehow wakes up. Probably also doesn't want to call off, going to fold even tighter. So this is a bit of a masterclass right now. And Queen 7 off, kind of tricky. Everyone's just sort of sitting back. He does limp. This is likely going to get him out with an all in, at least a raise with the weak ace. Maybe does check once in a while. I'm a little surprised by that, especially with how this player's been playing, but I guess doesn't really want to raise, get jammed on and call off there, but also maybe jamming is a little too much. I'm surprised by that though. Based on some of the hand selections and the weak ace there, I would expect to see some aggression.
Yeah, maybe fearing the trap a little bit from Joseph, because he just kind of knows that, hey, this guy knows that I've been being super aggressive. Like, is this the time where he is just limping in and trapping me? And oftentimes the hands that are trapping us have ace deuce absolutely crushed. So I feel like he'd rather be aggressive with like the real trashy hands, you know, like the 10-3s, the Jack-4s, those types of holdings. Comes with the 3x again, this time with the 8-5.
Yeah, this is the guy you can lean on a little more just because of the difference in chip stack between second and third. This is one you expect to see a little more pressure put on. And get him in this though, not gonna just roll over. Look at this, willing to put it on the line here to 3-bet and risk being, if he gets aggression, tied for the shortest. And nice pickup though, king 4 off using the separation, big card, little card. All right, guys, that's gonna be it. You got it for the giveaway. I'm gonna pause on. I just put it one time, please. If I will, once it gets heads up, I will announce the winner, and we will have a $50 or $100 ticket, depending. It'll be 100 if Mick Olatus wins. And look at this. We see a raise and a flat with the 8s.
Joseph takes the spot. See if Jedemiah takes. Yeah, he does. Snap calls,
Wow.
beats him to the pot. Let's go.
Wow, Queen Jack
Okay.
beats and gets this runner has been called. There's the first portion of that. Needs a
Never
10.
easy, right?
It would be absolutely insane, and it is paint and not enough. So nice hand. 8s calls it off. Ends up getting in a flip. Could be in a spot where he was dominating or 4-1 or just a 1 overcard. But there's a look at the L Joseph 62. Not a Super Millions contestant often, but is a participant on GG with a very impressive resume, 3.7 million. And I appreciate Jason Parker for the kind words. Good to see you guys. Almost 300 of you hit the thumbs up. We are heads up, and I will announce that winner very, very shortly.
Yeah, more than 2-1 chip lead for Nicoletas coming into this, but you know, these two have been they've been feeling each other out, you know, for the past couple of hours. This final table, this isn't a clear-cut win for Miko.
No,
Jedemiah has already proven that he's a very, very competent player. Decides to just knuckle back his flop bottom pair. Couple of streets, rivers 2 pair.
And I see a lot of familiar faces, some new ones in there as well. Again, hope you enjoy the show. Let us know where you're watching from the world. We are in different countries, and we are watching a very exciting final table. Jack 7 going to get a comfortable card on the river to value bet. King 8 blocking King 10. Although King High, you know, this is a spot where you do beat some hands. He does decide to call, and that is going to be the first blood for Gediminas. Going to tighten the gap a little, so almost exactly 2-1. Wide open. As we know, a 2-1 lead, what that means if you double becomes 2-1, your advantage. So this is not over. The chat is watching intently. Shout out to Detroit. What's up? Big game, Michigan at Penn State this weekend. Plan to be there for that. Any Michigan Wolverine fans out there? I'm getting back into sports a lot. I feel like things are calming down, getting in place. I haven't really been into sports the last few years, Henry, but I'm trying to get more into it. You don't watch college football, right? You're not in on that.
No. Not at
That's
all.
a stretch. That's a stretch.
I'm the same though. I've been getting back into tennis quite a bit recently. Been enjoying the tennis. This young Spaniard Alcaraz. It's very exciting to watch. It reminds me of a kind of young Nadal. Been enjoying watching him. Won the US Open at 19. You know, this kid's got a very, very interesting future in tennis. I honestly think he's currently best in the world at 19 years old, which is pretty shocking. Yeah. Jump back into this though, because Jedemiah with the overbet on the turn follows through on the river. I mean, if Nicoletas can find the hero call here with the Jack 3, then you know, he's just in prime shape here to close this out. To have Jedemiah down to 3.8.
He's thinking. I mean, the Queen X is a straight. 7 somehow would be pretty improbable, and a nice bet there. Always interesting heads up what's going to happen. You never know players' experience, and of course, card distribution is huge. And this is distribution that could shift things. Kings to Ace 7 off. This is going to be potentially a problem for Michaelides. I mean, he could even show some 3-betting here. It'd be interesting if he 3-bets. Might even just see a flat with the kings, right? Could be the time to lay the trap. Although heads up is interesting too, because you could just cooler people, right? You just get to cooler people where the ranges are wider. They go with lighter hands. So very interested to see if he just calls or shoots it up again. I could see either here. This is, you could argue both ways. Depends on what you think about your opponent, I think, how light you think they're 3-betting, right? So he does click it back, and this is now this ace-7 off becomes less exciting for Michaelides. It's one of those hands that just doesn't play very well. You're kind of lost where you're at, and unless he turns it into a rip, which is also possible.
Don't you dare.
One
Don't
of
you
the
dare.
it was in the, I think it was on the table. That's for sure. That was not a no shot spot. So that was going to be, that would have been interesting to see what happens, but doesn't do it. And we are playing some poker. Things are tightened up. It's almost even money, guys, 50 or 100. We'll see what happens. And 9-10 suited with a beautiful hand. Just thinking if he wants to, wow, he just goes ahead and lays it on.
Yeah,
Not
really strong start.
Yeah, not everyone's going to 3-bet that hand, and it just plays so well. But again, shows his ability, awareness, and he's taken the aggressive lines, and he has found himself narrowed it almost to an even money match. And Michaelides, not how he drew it up to start, still has a slight lead, but things are narrowing quickly. No deals available. That's something people ask often. There's 86K plus here for the difference between first and second, but there's not a deal making option. I think GG does offer that for a lot of tournaments, but again, the millions is pure, no deals, no whatever. You just have your record, you have your results, and you got to play to a winner. We get to see the whole shebang bang here. 286 of you have hit. If we get to 400, thumbs up, I'm just going to make it 100, because I'm feeling like the 100's falling away. It's slipping away from the audience. It could be a 50. Get a minus is doing its thing. If we get to 400 thumbs up, the giveaway will be announced at $100 ticket winner. I'll lock it in. If it stays where it is, doesn't hit 400, it'll be 50 or 100. You still might get the 100, but also I got to ask Henry, 2,000 people watching. See if we can get to 1,000. Let's see if you guys are feeling good about the show. If you love GG, if you love Henry, fan of myself, who knows? Could be anything. If you just want to hit the thumbs up button, we welcome you to do that. We appreciate you very much. And again, thank you guys for watching. I know got a lot of options for content. There's some crazy stuff going on in poker lately, but we know on Tuesdays, 2:45 Eastern. Hope to see you here every Tuesday and be a part of the Super Millions. So appreciate you guys, and it's been fun, Henry. This has been a fun final table.
Yeah, it has. It really has. We've seen some big laydowns, some really creative bluffs, hands colliding. We've had it all. We've had it all. That's for sure. We had the runaway chip leader at one point. Things a lot more even now. There's a river card in this deck where if it rolls off one of the 3 remaining 9s, we'd have a new chip leader. And very easy saying 2 Lithuanian legends. Yeah. Michaelides and Gediminas both at Very Uzi's wedding, apparently. They were both invited to his wedding a couple of months back.
Both of these players?
Yeah, both of them, yeah.
No way.
That's pretty crazy. Trying to think, if when the time comes, do I want to have a bunch of poker players at my wedding? Because I feel like what's going to end up happening is the wives and the girlfriends are going to get very angry, because it's just going to turn into a home game. Yeah, like let my parents dance for a couple of hours, but then after that, just kind of kick them to the side and say, right, home game time.
That is yeah, that could be problematic. I'll tell you what, my man does just call here and takes one of the advantages of just calling with the ace is this: when you flop the ace and you don't raise, your opponent is going to usually try to take command here. 7-9 suited, one of those backdoor galore situations. The 8-4, it is connected. There's a lot of cards. It's going to additionally bring equity, but we do see the check raise. That's going to be not a welcome sight to Michaelides, because he is for sure was very curious on what the turn would be as a 6, a 10, a diamond, which would not. Oh, he still peels. That's how much he liked the backdoor galore stuff. And look at this. This is one. Could Gediminas ever slow it down here? Does he ever check, give a little bit of rope? I mean, there's not really a lot of draws. You also could be beat. Of course, your heads up with trip aces on an ace 8-4 ace board. You're going to roll the dice, but there are some merit to just checking Same token, you could get your opponent with the king 8, 8x that doesn't fold, right? That just is hanging on. So I think betting the more logical play, it was not the turn for action, and it is almost anyone's game. We are basically tied. If we can hit the 400, I will make it 100 giveaway guaranteed. We're at 328. Appreciate you guys. And it is a battle. Both players flopping here, top and middle pair. So expect some chips to go in here. Always interesting if players bet smallish or check back mid pair. Of course, this is heads up. This is just pure heads up. Pretty high up in the range with the king 10, known as the taxi in Houston. 9 on the turn. This is going to be a advantage. Michaelitis, weak ace, does check over, and now Edeminus certainly could check. The heart comes in. Both players got to be wary of a possible flush. Although again, so hard to make a hand in Hold'em. Ace deuce off here. See if
I've heard you use that taxi in Houston before, JG. Is that because it's the hand that gets you in trouble and you have to end up calling a taxi?
Yes, it's basically under the premise that if you play that hand, like in Vegas, it was sort of made of guys in Houston, you come back, you fly in a plane and you leave on a taxi, you get hurt. It just costs you a lot of money. It just kind of was always referenced as like a hand people like to play, but it's, like this result. Usually it doesn't work out. And that's just like one of those Houston things. Any people from Houston in the chat, they know what I'm talking about. That is a signature hand. I love the poker nicknames. Like the names for hands are some that we've never heard. We don't know, or you hear for the first time. Even myself, I'll hear one where I'm like, man, I've been for 20 years and that makes so much sense and I never heard it before. Like a king 10's random, right? That's just like, okay, stop it. This is we might just get the $100 giveaway anyway at this point. We just might get it.
Wow. He comes with the overbet on the turn, the overbet probe. And Michaelitis has just got the stone cold nuts.
Yeah, you could argue here a few things. The same token, if your opponent has a good hand, maybe doesn't fold, and there's a lot of cards on the river that could kill the action, or your opponent might be drawing to. So he does go ahead and click it up. I like the sizing. Doesn't want to lose his customer, but also wants to increase the pot. There are most cards where he's going to get the value bet for all of it as well, build to pot. And if you're getting minutes, this is concerning. And one of the ones that could somehow make it not all of it, right? This is one of the ones. And actually, if you're get a menace, you kind of realize it's unlikely your opponent's raising a flush draw on the turn. I think, right? A lot for that. I don't think there's many flushes that they're going to do. And this is still, are you just too high up here, Henry, to not go for some value? He does go for all of it. Wow. This might be it. This could definitely be it. There are things that miss. It's like, does he raising a flush draw? And I love the recognition of that. Like I just said, I don't think he puts him on a flush. So like now it's like, all right, what are the other draws? 7x that miss. Maybe he's got like, 7, king 7, or I guess you wouldn't. I don't know, king, some 7 in his hand, 7 with the ace of spades, something like that. That's possible. And we might not see a fold here, guys. This could be it. This really could be it. I will announce the winner here in a second anyway, because we are at 340 thumbs up. And this could be our last hand. He's got 1:50 on the chess clock. He's got top. He does call.
He does make the call.
He does call, and that is going to do it. The man from start to finish was in control. Very little bit of a second place stack at a moment, but L. Joseph ends up in third. Mick Olitis with a clinical performance gets the 400,000. Congrats to him. A masterful performance today, really was. And what a match. What a day. We had a little of everything. We had big names, we had big stacks, we had big bluffs, big calls. Henry, such a treat. Real quickly, let me call out the winner. It is Daniel Wu, at Daniel Wu. You just won $100, and I will put that in the chat. $100. We got your username locked up. You will get that ticket. And I just put that in right now. That was it. That was GG. That was fast. Henry, any takeaways here at the end of this final table?
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like a real ICM clinic performance there from our eventual champion. Definitely one of those streams that I feel like I want to kind of watch back at some point and just kind of take note, because there is a lot to digest here. You're playing against a lineup of stone cold killers, and I mean, it's easy, we spoke about, running well and playing well, picking up the cards and whatnot, but I don't want to do a disservice to our champion, because he really put 2 and 2 together and he came out on top. And yeah, deserving champion. He played incredibly well.
Amazing stuff. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. This was, again, a treat, a big one, 400K every Sunday, 10,300 buy-in. Final table on Tuesday. I will be your host for the Tuesdays. I will have a very special guest. A big thank you to Henry Kilbane coming on today. We'll be back same time, same place, 2:45 Eastern. Congrats to the winner of the $100 ticket. And thank you for all watching. Thanks for participating. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. We'll see you next week. And a big thanks to Henry. Follow him on the socials. Henry Kilbane, Google him. He's all over the place, does it all. Give him a shout, give him a follow. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.